Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. I'm doing my live tonight. I haven't done one in a while, and YouTube is sending me notifications and asking me to do one. So here I am. I'm just, I don't know. I just have a lot going on in my mind. I'm just grateful that I have my church and I have my family here at home. But we really, as a community, we really need to step up. Yeah, I'm calling out the churches. We really need to step up and actually start doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be taking care of the weak, the sick, the broken, and the lost. And from my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and I'm sorry if it upsets you, but my opinion is that my church is the only one that's helping, and a few churches around here. Hi, Alex. But as a community, we need to step up. We need to help God's children, and we need to help one another, our churches, to come together and do what God says. Do what we tell our communion, or what that word is. I can't pronounce it right. I'm sorry. But when we tell our church, the people in our church, to reach out and help and to spread the gospel and to do what God has called on you, then we need to put up or shut up. And the reason I say this is because I've seen too many churches say, oh, we do what God says, but turn around and do the exact opposite. There's too much animosity. There's too much anger. There's too much bitter. There's just evil. And we need to come together as a Christian community and help our churches and help the people around the church, so we can show them that, yes, we do follow the New Testament. Yes, we do live by God, through God, and only God. You know, Jesus, he was a perfect man. He never hurt people. He never turned people away. He never cast them down. He never, I mean, he was somebody that our kids today need in their life. And that right now is the churches and the community that the church is in. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including our church, my church, 6 different churches in Texas County that need to come together and help our community. We need to show our community that we're here and that we hear you, we see you, and we know who you are. And we love you. And you're more than welcome to come. We need to do what God has told us to do. Take care of my children, meaning take care of the community that you're in. See, my community where I live, we need an SPCA. We need animal control. We need places that will get people off of fentanyl and meth. We need more medical help so we can get better doctors, so more people can get the treatment that they need, so they don't have to drive 6 or 7 miles away from home to get off of heroin or meth or fentanyl. They can be right here at home. You know, we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to take in the broken. We're supposed to take in the lost and show them the way to Jesus. We're not supposed to condemn them. We're not supposed to hurt them or tell them that they're nothing. No. We are supposed to save them. We are supposed to show them that they matter and they belong, because that's what Jesus would do. And I thank God that I have my church, Life Church. Life Church. Life Church. I don't know where I would be without them. I really don't. In my faith, I really don't. This church, also, if you're struggling with addiction, like meth, heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, they have a program that will help you get off of that. Guys, Alan, turn it down. I'm doing a live. Keep it down, please. This church has a program that will help you get off of that. And they will stay with you from the beginning all the way until you graduate from this program that they have. And I'm telling you right now, it is worth it. I've seen, we actually have a pastor, 2 pastors that were severely broken and severely hooked on drugs. And I mean to the point where their own blood, their own family said they're going to bury them because they were that far gone. But God took them and got them off of drugs, and now they are pastors. So I'm telling you, this program from this church did it. And you know, they are still sober to this day. I do too, Alex. I do too. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. God bless you. But guys, my church really needs your help. They need your prayers. And if you could reach out to them and say a kind word, I'd really appreciate it. Because this church has saved so many people. I've seen it firsthand. how amazing this church is. I've seen him take a man, a grown man, like in his I think he's in his mid-30s, from fentanyl to now he's a minister to men. He helps men come find God and be pastors and youth leaders, and to help to bring more people to God. And he was on fentanyl for, he said, about, I think he said 3 years. 3 years. I don't know what time. I didn't ask when he started. But when he came to our church, he was going through this program that our church has. And when he told us that it was this program that our church has, and God and the love and the support that our church gave him, it's what saved his life. I'm okay. I just want people to know how important this church is. That's the email that you get a hold of the church. But guys, my church, I don't know where I would be at if it wasn't for my church. The only person that's going to have Christmas this year is my nephew and the 2 girls. Well, baby, no, that's fine.
I just tuned in.
That's fine. This is Life Church. And they saved my life and my family's. And people always, they were asking me, everybody kept asking me, what's the name of your church? And that's the name of my church, Life Church. And this church really needs Pastor Jim and Miss Missy. They saved a lot of lives. And I don't know how to help that church, to thank them, because they have saved so many families and marriages and relationships just by doing exactly what God told them to do. Save my children, bring my children home, bring my children to me. And that is exactly what this church does. And I'm telling you, if you are close, if you can get to that church, I promise you, you're not going to want to go anywhere else. Because it is so amazing. The people there are, they're my family. And right now they could use some prayer. I'm fine. Thank you, Alex. It's good to see you too, honey. Amen. Yes. Because if this is my question, and maybe someone out there can answer it for me. Maybe I don't know. This is just my question. My question to everyone that's watching my YouTube. What do you think our community would look like, Missouri, if all of the churches came together and helped out less fortunate towns like ours and the other towns around? If they helped their community, wherever their church is, and who had their community like around, I wonder what it would look like to have a community that was based in faith with Christ. What would that be like? Because I do wonder. I wonder what would it be like if Jesus was right here, right now, and he saw the churches of Missouri, like he started in Missouri and he branched out, like what would he see and how would he react? I don't think he would react good. I don't know. That's my question. What would Jesus say if he was here right now and he saw the churches? What would he say? My opinion is he would say, "What in the heck is wrong with you people? I have shown you the way to my Father. I have given you the path you walk to walk to my Father. I have given you the tools that you need to help my children. And what are you doing? You're filling your own pockets. You're building massive churches that don't help nobody. You're condemning my Father in the house of what you call a church. You're letting snakes in churches. You're letting animosity. You're letting the devil himself take over the holy ground. But you curse me when something bad happens. It makes no sense. I mean, I want to blame God for saying that. I want to blame him at all because that's exactly what we're doing. We're condemning people. We're kicking them when they're down. We're telling them they're not good enough because they're not the right standards in church or the right clothes. No, God doesn't care about any of that. He don't care about money. He don't care about clothes. He don't care about your hairstyle. He don't care about any of that. All he cares about is you coming home. Period. That's it. It's all he cares about is you coming home. But for some reason, we would rather condemn, hurt, betray, badmouth, and stab in the back before we'll do what God says. Why? Why? Why wait until you're down where you cannot get up? Why not follow God? So you don't have to go down that road. So you don't have to be convicted and tortured and burned for eternity. Why not rise up with the Father? I mean, come on. God has literally made it easy for you to walk with him. And you run. Why? I don't understand. Why doesn't our community tell people the truth? Why? I can tell you why they don't tell the truth. It's because that means they have to look at their own backyard. They have to look at their own skeleton. And when they do that, then they are flawed and they don't like it because they try so hard to be something that they're not. And that's what we're doing in the churches. Yep. Yeah. But when us little church reaches out, like my church, it seems like they're not heard. And that's not okay. Because my church matters just as your church matters, just as every church matters. But the difference between my church and those big, rich, fancy churches is my church actually cares about the community that they live in. They care about the people that go to the schools, go to the Walmart, goes to the doctors, goes to the counseling, goes to all of my town. They actually care about them. They worry about them. They check on them. They make sure that they're okay. You tell me what big fancy church that you know of that goes to every community that they have in their jurisdiction and what they call their, jurisdiction. And I bet you not that many. So, what do? We ask God to humble them. We do. We ask God to humble them. To humble the church. To wake them up. Get their head out of their ass and their pockets and do exactly what God tells you to do. To feed the homeless. Protect the broken. Lead the lost to him. And help the sick. Timothy, what are you doing? That was my brother. It's fine. I'm doing my live. I'm doing my live.
Oh, we're live. Oh. You made them? Yeah. Right on.
What do we do? And a lot of people will say, oh, that's being cruel to say that. How is that being cruel? To tell the churches that build these big, massive churches and all these fancy things, how is it cruel to tell them to stop? To stop going to the devil and start going to God? How is that cruel? Because it's not. We need to stand. We need to unite as Christians. We don't need to tear other churches down because we're not big and fancy and just jittery. No. We need to do what God says. God says, love my children, protect my children, guide my children, save my children from damnation. And you know how you do that? You get off your ass and you go save your children. You stop running your mouth and saying, I'm here to help, and actually help them. Stop saying you care about them when you do nothing to save them or to let them know that you're there. At the end of the day, if you would die today, priest, all the priests, would you be able to stand before God humbled from what you say, the works that you've done for his people? How many of you can stand before God and say, I was a good priest, I saved I helped a lot of lives come to you, and not be a liar, a deceiver, and a thief? How many? How many of you? Not many. But my church, they can't. My pastor actually can't. My other pastor and my other pastor, they all three can say it and not be a deception or a liar or a thief. So how many of you can be humbled in the eyes of God and not be a liar?
I can't.
No, you can't. Nope.
When I was born, if I ask you to forgive my sins and then I die, then I'm forgiven.
Yes, but I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about priests.
Oh.
How many priests can be humbled in God's presence? My church can. My church can. And there probably is a little bit more, more churches out there that can. Yes. But you never, ever hear of them. Why? Because they do exactly what God says. They love his children. They protect them. They guide them. They help them when they're down. They don't condemn them, and they don't make fun of them. And they do not criticize them. So I'm asking you, priests, to all the big churches, all the rich, all the whatever you want to call it, can you stand in God's presence humbled for what you have done for your community? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt my church can't.
No, you don't get to eat.
What about you?
You're not eating.
What do you feel?
It's not eating. Should make one less burger.
What do you feel?
No, you're not. If I don't put out
because I don't believe it's very difficult to see some really wealthy and powerful churches that will absolutely take money and just not care about people. Yeah, it is. Cat, calm, calm down, Kathy. Everyone got their own problems. I know. They just they're just humans. Did a priest hurt you? Yeah. I've had priests actually hurt my feelings. I have. I've had a priest hurt my feelings. And yeah, you are right. They are human. They are. But you're right, Alex. That is happening more and more and more every day. And it just hurts because there are people out there that need help. And those churches can help them. And they're so lost in Satan that they can't even see it. Yep. I got asked to leave a church because I didn't fit their standards, what they called standards. Then I got asked to leave another church. Because I wasn't, I'm going to try my very best to pronounce this word correctly. I wasn't adequate enough for them. And that hurt because I was always told that I didn't belong in God's house. And I never would. Because of the way I believe. And the way I feel inside of my heart. And that really hurt. And for the longest time, I believed that I wasn't good enough to be in God's house. That I wasn't the correct way that I was supposed to be. And it hurt really, really bad. I mean, and I've seen churches that Alex are talking about that do that. I've seen them turn people away because they don't look right. They don't smell right, or they just got a little bit of dirt in their hair. I've seen churches literally tell them to leave, and they don't do anything to help them. They condemn them before they even walk through the door. I've seen it. And this is not right. This is not God's will. What these churches are doing is wrong. And it's deception. And it's the devil. If no one's going to stand up to the church for God, then who will? The devil? I mean, come on. It doesn't matter if you smell. It doesn't matter if you have dirt in your hair. It doesn't matter what you look like. Just come home. That's all God wants. Come home and be who you are. God says, love your enemies. Okay? He also says, hate the sin of the sinner, but do not hate the person. Then he also says, come as you are. He doesn't say, come as you are in fancy clothes and fancy hair and fancy odor and fancy... No, he doesn't say any of that. He says, come as you. Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened in my life. Yes, I do. Satan. Satan tried to stop my life. As I was saying, God says, come as you are. And that's what we need to do. I love you guys. I'm going to go get ready to eat supper. Just know I love you. And I thank God for each and every one of you. I love you so much. Bye, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.